Hey guys, how's it going? So, I'm gonna do these um, replays and also talk about draft. Um, so first off, we're gonna go straight into Dragonshire. There's a few things that I wanted to talk about draft-wise for you guys, maybe something to think about. I know like first two bands for you guys was. I'm not really gonna switch things up for this draft because I actually think this draft was pretty good for you guys, but I'm just gonna open up some things for you guys to think about, maybe to change. It's like small, slight things, but overall, I thought this draft was extremely good from you guys. So ban, um, you guys ban Brightwing. Your first pick, you ban Brightwing. Then they go ahead and ban a noob, and then you ban Asmo, and they ban the Dahaka. So this was, when I was listening in to you guys, this was one of the talking points that I felt like you guys were trying to decide for a while, because it seemed like you wanted to go into Garrosh, but then kind of a key thing was you were worried about Johanna, because if you pick Garrosh into Johanna, yeah, it's a little weak there. But here's one thing that I was thinking, just listening in, is you don't have to pick either. They're not really choking tanks that much. They picked the Anub. They banned the Anub out, but that's not really that big of a deal. There's still so many tanks on the board. You have 3 picks before you can worry about running out of tanks. So I don't really think that picking a first pick tank here is really that big of a priority. And say you pick the Garrosh here first, they probably pick the Johanna second. If you hold the tank pick, you can look at what they pick for a tank. So if they pick Johanna, then you can pick any other tank like Diablo, you can pick Muradin, you can pick ETC, you can pick a whole bunch of different ones. But then if they pick Garrosh, then you can pick the Johanna in the 2-3. So it's kind of more so since your first pick, you can dictate here where and like what tank you're gonna pick. And you don't have to be forced into picking the first tank, because if you pick the Garrosh, you get countered. If you pick the Johanna's not the greatest first pick. I'll just be straight up honest about that. So then how would I do this differently if I was in your guys' position? One thing is, so say they pick, I think one of the strongest solo laners on this map is Rexxar. So how do you counter that? Well, what solo laner counters Rexxar? There's really none, to be honest. There really isn't. There's no solo laner that I can see that I would say that can consistently beat Rexxar, unless you're just completely outplaying him. And Rexxar is there. You could say Malthael, but even after 4, even after set level 7, Malthael is still going to get beat, because the only way to really beat Rexxar with a Malthael is by killing the bear first and then killing Rexxar. But by the time you kill the bear, you're already pretty much dead from Rexxar's buffed auto attacks. So there's pretty much nothing you can really do to counterpick. And say you need like a counterpick, and your last pick is a solo lane. You need a solo lane for your last pick. All these solo laners really don't do anything for counterpicking. Like Blaze, Urel, Artanis, they're all they do the same exact thing. All the top tier solo laners do the exact same thing, minus Dahaka. And so it's pretty much kind of just, you can pick any solo laner as this first pick, and you can use the rest of the 4 picks to counter. So say, for me, if it was me, I would have picked like Blaze here, first pick. Because now I have a top solo laner. I don't really have to worry about the top lane for the rest of the game. If they pick the Rexxar, yeah, but Blaze is going to probably lose to that. But then again, every solo laner is going to lose to Rexxar. So the only way to win top is by sending someone to help. Now, say they don't ban the Dahaka, this is a Dahaka first pick. Instantly, for me. Same thing, because Dahaka provides so much more on this map than any other solo laner, and he does the same thing as every other solo laner. So that would be my opinion of that. So then how does this change the draft? Maybe they do go into the Johanna. Maybe they think that, or I don't know if you guys thought that they were, Johanna like players. Maybe you did. And that's probably why you went this. But then they pick their normal picks. They pick Johanna, KT. Now you get your picks, which would then be, you don't pick the Garrosh because they have Johanna, but Garrosh or Diablo is still an insanely strong pick here. And then you pick your next pick. I don't know, you can pick Maiev or you can pick Stukov. Either or works. The rest of this draft was really good, I thought. So first pick Johanna, which is totally fine. I mean, how I'd say it is how I'd set it up, but this is still, it's not really that big of a deal. So they bid, what did they do? KT and Diablo. And then you do Maiev and Stukov. So the way this is shaping up, you have these three who are extremely good for synergy. And ban-wise, not really going to go into it. Ming and Anna for bans. And they go White Mane Rexxar. So pretty much what this means for you guys is that you're going to lose the top lane no matter what. So how do you kind of help the top lane? There's two things that you guys can do to fix it. It's pretty much just getting someone like Genji who can make quick rotations, or what you guys go into, which I do like as well, is you guys go into the Falstad. And I think that's pretty good. I think your entire draft here, minus this first pick, I thought this draft was great. And then Thrall. So yeah, I don't need to pick them because you already know what it is. So yeah, I thought draft-wise this was really good. And I think you're setting yourselves up for a good game starting from the draft. I don't think you get outdrafted in this way anyway. I think what happens in this game is just, small mistakes that I'll talk about. So let's move this over. So going in from the start of the game, so you're going to lose the solo lane. The one thing I will say from the start, you have to determine who's your solo laner out of these three, Maiev, Falstad, and Thrall. Every single one of them will lose the solo lane, no matter what. Falstad can't do anything against Rexxar. Maiev, the only thing she can do against Rexxar is she could win if she gets insane Qs, if Jesus gets Qs on both, which shouldn't happen. And then Thrall does not win against Rexxar. So out of the three, who should be the solo laner? It should be the Thrall. Because at least he can just sit there, be safe. He shouldn't have any issues. And then what you can do now is you can send the Falstad to fly up and help out the solo lane. Whereas what kind of happens in this game is, Falstad's not really getting any global value. And that kind of sets you guys back with this Falstad pick, because now it's, it's just not as good. It's not using the potential of what it could be. And Falstad so what I was saying is that Falstad would replace, you could pick Genji here, because then you have Thrall in the top lane. Genji's really good at just going up, putting pressure on Rexxar, making him push back. And that's what you have to do with the Falstad, which can do just pretty much as well. So another thing that you can do that I think with your comp, what you should be looking at is, so you have wave clear. Your wave clear is good now that you have Falstad in the 4-man. I think just for you, Dookie, as far as your team comp, the way this fights usually would play out is Johanna and Maiev going in for an engage. You guys pull them in, and you're not really going to get any value out of your level 1 that you end up going for, because ideally the fights should be over quickly, but that's a super small thing that I think, but especially since these fights don't actually end quickly. But I think if you guys like tune it up, I think that would be something to think about, because I feel like if you guys get the perfect scenario, it should just be you get one Q with the boom. If you go Q build is what I was saying, what I was meaning. If you went Q build, since you're in the 4-man rotation, now you can get stacks more easily on this rotation. Now you can basically throw in a Q on the Maiev pull, boomerang that, and then the fight's pretty much almost over from that. So now going back to what I think you guys should do in this map is obviously soak rotation 4 here, and then prioritize the siege immediately once it gets up. And who should be doing that? It should probably be the Falstad or the Maiev. Probably the Falstad, because you can't rotate as easy. You can probably switch them up either or. It doesn't really matter. And then what I would personally look at is right before these shrines open up, you should send the Maiev and you should send the Falstad to be doing this bruisers. So what happens if you do the bruiser is, so Rexar is going to lose top, or Rexar is going to win top. You're never going to win top unless you pressure it. So what you can do is you get this bruiser with Maiev and Falstad. They come top, so the rest of the enemy team is going to be rotating here always, and then Falstad and Maiev go top with this bruiser. They start, and then I don't know, Maiev goes up here, caps the point, and then now you have top, the cap point. You have capped top, and you have this bruiser pushing, and you have 3 assassins over in this top lane pushing this. So the goal here is to get the Sippy to pressure on this Rexar and make sure, he has a harder time sustaining in this lane. That's one of the main things one of the main objectives of doing this play. And then what happens is their team is going to be rotating and be like, oh, we have 3 people pushing top. The only things they can do is they can push bot, which is good value, but sometimes teams don't do that, and it's kind of a win-win for you in a way. So if they don't go down, you get this Sippy secured, then Falstad leaves. But if they do respond, what happens is now you have Johanna and Stukov who can step onto bot, because they're going to be sending 3 top probably to respond, or 2 top. So the people they'll probably leave is, Diablo and maybe Whitemane. I don't know. Something like that. So then if you cap bot while they're rotating all the way up top, which is going to take a while, now the Falstad flies mid and then caps while they're on their rotation up. So that's something just to think about and kind of just planning ahead, because I think Mercs for this game was kind of a little weak from when I looked at it a little bit. So for the most part, other than this, I'll be looking at just kind of team fight, how you guys are going in, and just general positioning mistakes that I see. So right off the bat here, tank-wise, tanks should always be in this bush. You have no vision of anything here, just get in the bush just to get vision. Because if you're over here, you're just kind of playing passive, and the more vision you have on this game, the better you'll do. So like, you have no idea where hammer is. If you just sit in the bush, just anchor it. You are the wave clear, which is one thing, but you can go from here, wave clear. And one thing that teams do wrong, especially in this mid fight, is, so it's been 23 seconds. All the waves are crashing, and what teams do is they kind of sit around. If you just be aggressive and everyone just go this Johanna Q with one person's ability, you do Johanna's W and Q with like Maiev's Q, Falstad's Q, this wave's gone before the end of the Johanna Q. Johanna Condemn finishes. So then once you finish the wave, then you're just ahead of the rotation. So instead, you're kind of looking for kills when the name of the game is pretty much soak. Like, this isn't really going to do you anything. But if you get ahead of the soak game, it could be pretty good. So now Rexar's already top lane. You're going to start missing soak down here. I'll keep an eye on this and see if you guys miss any. So you've already missed one minion in the top lane. I don't see the mage minion, so you might have missed two. You're about to miss this one. And this wave's still not even cleared, even though you had 5 people in the mid lane. So that's one thing to look at. If you have a Johanna, just focus on the wave clear. Don't focus on any kills. I don't think you really win any stacking. Yeah, like this is the only stacking talent, but you can do that while wave clearing. Stukov doesn't really provide as much wave clear unless you drop the E, which probably shouldn't do. So, looking at top lane, you missed 2 minions, 3 minions. Okay, so you've got all those. 2 minions in the bot lane before you get there. So this rotation, in general, way too slow, and just needs to be improved on. Just seeing if you guys do this correctly. Okay, yeah, nice. So here, positioning wise here, there's no objective yet for this top lane. The objective won't be up for another like minute and a half. So pressuring this Rexar really won't get you anything. You can kill him, you can deny them soak, but at the end of the day, if you position right here and get this camp instead, it's just being more proactive. Like if say the objective was up and you're positioning here, getting ready to go for a gank, that's great. But since there's really nothing else for you to do besides get XP off a kill, which is valuable, but I don't think it's as valuable. So here they're all bot. You can just be aggressive. Right when this wave crash, just go and soak it. You're the wave clear. Stukov is in the wave clear. This is why you draft Johanna on rotation maps. It just has to be you. W the wave, run down, W the wave, run down, W the wave. Just rinse and repeat over and over again. That's literally Johanna's job in the early game until 10. And then at post 10, it's just getting to the middle of the enemy team and just press buttons. So now the siege is about to start. Neither team is prioritizing it, which is one thing. I don't know if you guys get this kill, but if you just have someone here, so since they're up top, I think the Thrall should be here. Especially since, wave clear is already pretty much covered. Thrall doesn't provide as much. The only thing here is that Thrall does want to stack, which is why the Maiev should probably be down here. But in general, Thrall should be in the top lane, because in the top lane you can stack this level 1 extremely easily in a solo lane. It should only take you like 2 to 3 waves for you to stack that fully. And yeah, so it probably should be the Falstad here, Johanna just rotating, Thrall in the top lane, Stukov just hanging out. So you get the kill. Okay, so let's see how much this gets you, just to make a point, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. So the enemy team is going to lose how many minions? 1 minion. So they're going to miss an entire wave. This is a mistake on their team for part, because Diablo was hovering around here, so he should have been mid and KT should have been top. But they miss a minion wave. But at the end of the day, I feel like you guys also missed minions throughout the game, so kinda could even out in a sense. But this is what I was saying. So they missed a minion wave, but at the end of the day, still close on levels. He's back for the objective. So this kill amounted you guys a net +1 of a minion wave, which isn't bad, but I think if you prioritize this, now you're pressuring bot when the objective is up. And you're putting pressure to get to get the objective. So, yeah. This is a good engage. This whole thing was really good. So now, what do you do in this situation? Falstead's probably not going to win top. So it's a 3v3 in the bot lane. And you can make it a 2v1 in the top lane. So what I would do is probably send the Thrall up to the top lane. Pressure this Rexar off. Get top. Because now what you can do is Thrall comes up. You get top. Now Falstead flies down. Now it's... Then Thrall can sit in this lane and make sure you guys have it. And now it's a 4v3 in the bot lane now. That's what I would do in this situation. So you don't see enemy on bot. I don't know if anyone's looking at the map, but there's no one soaking these waves. No one's capping this point because you can see that. So you know that they're on the siege. So this is once again where I would literally if you see that in that micro decision, this Thrall has to go top, because now this is a free objective. Thrall comes up, pressures Misha and Rexar off. You three get bot. Falstad flies mid. That's the objective. But instead, it's kind of three down. This could have been out 40 seconds ago. So this shouldn't even be a priority during the objective. So it's just kind of, the enemy kind of gave you a free objective, essentially, is what I'm saying. But you elected to not do it. So that could be something to improve. And just to use the Falstad Global in the best way possible. And since he is in the top lane, the best way would be sending someone up, rotate up here, get him, and then he just flies mid for a quick cap. And post 10, this works even better once you get Gus, because you can fly mid, gust him away, cap. So, and then if you're the enemy team here, they can just not soak this and keep this lane right here. They see Maev go across mid, so I would just sit right here and let these waves crash, and then you're losing all this XP. So here we go again. So now it's the time where, yeah, I would say this is a good rotation, because you have bot. One thing about this map is that if you have one, you don't really need to do anything with the other. You're going to lose this, which means you have to look at top. Because since these two are on this siege, there's no way you're going to hold this. So that means, yep, split one off. Make sure you have top. Hold top. And this probably is just a communication thing. But if you're going for the kill, Dookie, you got to be a lot further up and just looking to follow that. But if that's not the kill and you're just actually just going for the point and just trying to scare him, then nice. It worked. Okay. So this is one thing about camps, is that you guys capped it and then left. They capped it and now they're going to push it in. And they're going to get a free clear probably at this rate. And you guys are going to be in a really bad position. Yeah. If this hammer steps up here and starts sieging, you guys are in a terrible spot. And don't need to be there. Just soak the wave. Don't even look at top. If you have to send 3 people top, you're kind of losing in a lot of aspects. So just look for the 2. Try the bruiser play. That's a really good thing to do, but make sure if you do this bruiser play, you cannot be letting them push in bot with a camp, because otherwise you'll lose more value than you'll ever gain. Because then if you like try to do this bruisers thing now, then you would lose this entire fort by the time you cap the bruisers. Okay, so here, I don't think you're trying to engage. I would assume not, because you have your Maev in mid lane. So I wouldn't even look for this. Just all you want to do is just W these minions and just poke these down. Because I think Hammer has her unstoppable, right? Yeah. So you're not really going to pressure her off until you get a 4v4 and then also until you get these siege down. So now in this situation you're going to be looking mid, but Kael'thas just threw a flame strike, so you see him all here, and as long as Dookie sees the Rexar, you're not really in any threat of losing mid, because they could just literally just step up, keep pushing. They don't ever have to send someone mid if you guys put someone mid to defend it. Because yeah, you're just sitting here defending a ghost, so they can literally just push in, and if they hide this Rexar or something, just put them on the point. I don't know. I mean, you see every single person on the enemy team, so the only thing you can do here is just soak the wave and then go back down. So once again, you see the team. You don't need to fight this at all. Everyone's accounted for on the map, so all it is just this right here. This wave is the priority. Focus this down, and then once you have everyone regrouped, Maev gets this soak, you guys get this wave, Falstead's getting this wave, but the moment that someone disappears off the map, that's when you gotta go in. So yeah, it's just kind of unnecessary fighting, and it's kind of starting to throw you on the loop. So now you're going to rotate top, because I assume that you're going to try and hopefully get this back, but you could have had this entire wave in this time, because even if you're soaking here, you don't need to be sitting in a bush to defend this. You can sit in this wave, soak this wave, and you still have vision of it. So this is kind of a panic play, in my opinion, of like, you just see that they have both altars and just kind of assume like they're going to be going for this right away. But a lot of times you don't even really need to. You can just pressure, and they can just pressure this for days. Like now that they have vision of 2 top, this is just free. This entire thing is free, especially with the Thrall dead. So looks like they elect to send someone mid, which is a big mistake on their end. So I think instead for you guys, it's just, I think if you just cleared the waves, focus on the waves first, you would never be in this situation. And you would have regained control of just rotations. But now it's kind of all over the place in a sense. So, because even with these two, it's going to be tough to push this off. But you guys do it. I'm proud. Okay, so now it's just all about, now that you're in this situation, it's all about how do you get it out. And it's just really tough at this point, because honestly how I would get it out is I would just soak every lane and then just leave the Johanna here. She soaks this, soaks that. Maev just rotates down. Falstad clears this. Once this wave's cleared and they're trying to force a fight here, Falstad flies down. That's how I would fix this scenario. So Thrall comes mid, Johanna soaks bot, comes up. Maev just gets off the point because you're kind of a waste of time. Like, there's a lot of things else that you can do, in my opinion. Because otherwise it's just, once again, it's just free push. You have two in the top lane, 1 in the mid lane, 1 that's coming back from being dead, and then 1 in the bot lane. This is all free. It should have been free a minute ago. So now you're just missing soak. I think soak is far more important than the objective on this map, because you don't really like, just capping these two doesn't mean you get the objective. So I would just prioritize soak more, because you guys are doing a really good job on soak too. So it's like XP wise, so you guys can just get ahead. Okay. So another one where it's just kind of, you got to know where your team is and know when you can really make engages. So right here is, you have 3, you need to wait for this guy before you go in. So honestly, so here's the ring, don't step in the ring, let the wave push in, and then just clear right here. If she gets out of her siege, which she should, and then steps up, then that's an engage. Otherwise, you don't really need to make an engage on the siege hammer, but let her step up first, is what I would say. So yeah, so here we go. So I would focus on the wave, because if they don't have the wave, then they're going to be tanking everything. If the hammer steps up, then this Johanna can D, press W, you can get a lot of value. So she doesn't really step up, so you got the wave, I would just back up. And hold the D a little more than you are. So I don't know if you've soaked this entire lane. I need to see that. I think you've missed this entire wave. If you're gonna stand here, stand right here and fight Misha. But the only problem is you're just gonna be tanking Rexar. But I think because you're standing here, you've missed an entire wave. Just to hold a point when you're not even winning bot. Like, there's no point in winning this if you're not gonna win bot. The only thing that this is gonna do is delay this being turned on, but if you have full vision of their team, it doesn't matter. Let me see if I can. It's like blocked on Johanna, but so it's just a lot of soak everywhere that's been missed. Was that a fly? I don't think that was. I think that was an E. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say. Okay. So this is your job. Now you just sit here. Sit here, and then honestly what I would do at this point, Maev, just soak this wave, go down, and then you guys just go in for something. Because you can make a quick engage, and then if it doesn't work, then you back out and go back to soaking. Because what you can do here now is this wave's almost soaked. There's no minion wave coming for a while. So just quick Q that wave. Go down. Falstead and you both walk down. Now you look for a fight. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, then now you got to get back to soaking. And the way you do that is you just fly Falstead back up. And that's how you utilize this fly, is you can fly in from a different lane, or you can fly out. So always be looking for that type of play. Because here it's just, yeah. Top is not, you're not winning anything here. And it's not that you're misplaying or anything. It's just that you can't beat him in lane forever. You can kill the Misha once or twice, but then after that, like, what is this capping this objective really doing for you at the end of the day? You've missed soak. Their team's just pushing in for free pretty much. So I think, yeah, you just rotating down and forcing a 5v4, and then you have the fly to catch back up the soak. That's what I would be looking for over and over again. If you see them all on the map, don't even worry about anything else. So say you just rotate down and you get this, and you make this quick engage, you can also fly the false dead mid just to defend this. Okay, so we're going to look at this fight, if this is a fight. So she's just using Unstoppable. I think the Wolf is too early. Try and wait for like the Condemn to pull people in, and then Wolf, because then it'll be 3-4 targets for the Wolf. I mean, you still get some people, but overall, I think it's just who's the target. So I think you're kind of distracting them. Everyone else should be on Diablo because he's probably the closest target, easiest target. Unless you can somehow loop around and get that KT, but it should be Hammer right now. You got the silence on the Hammer, which is good. Everyone just focus Hammer. But it's kind of, I think you're kind of mixing in on this Diablo and Hammer. So they're pushed off, now you just back up. Okay. So you see 4 here, you see Rexar. This doesn't mean anything. This objective doesn't mean anything. So there's literally nothing to gain here. So I think it's just keeping like open communication with the team. Like, do you see 4? Yes, no. If it's no, then you probably don't even fight over it anyway because you're not going to win it. So if the answer is no, that you don't see all of enemy team, then you just go mid, and then you let false dead like fly up and just get the soak or something. But pretty much never. The only way you're going to win this lane, like I said when I was talking about the draft, is when you send people up or you do a bruiser to pressure them off. That's the only way you're going to win this lane. So yeah, soak this. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Did you go the expand? No, okay. I wonder when this camp came up. Because I think this has been up for a long time. I think this is another thing, just area to improve. Doing camps off cooldown. It gives you XP, it gives you pressure. You haven't touched this one yet, which I think you could. That would help with top lane. Since top lane's an issue, I think just recognizing, okay, hey, top's an issue, how do we fix it? We either send people up or we do a camp, push them off. So that's not bad. But you just gotta drop it back up right now. So this is one of those things, one of those situations where, okay, so now you see 3. You see Rexar top. Now, you just back up here. Because you're not going to cap this against 3, not against 2v3 when you don't have a damage here. The only thing you have to be worried about is them getting both, and then someone, this KT, since you don't know where this KT is, you have to be worrying that he's right here. So either you put the false dead here, you hurry and send this Maiev here, or you just full back out of here a long time ago and you send the Duke off mid. So I think so far a story of this game is kind of playing around this objective better, because you guys, I think it's just you see them cap both and then it's just you kind of get worried that they're gonna cap it right away. But just keeping an eye on the minimap. So yeah, so they have 4. You have no idea where their team is now. You see 1, maybe 2, and you see the Rexar. So you have no idea where Hammer is. You don't know where KT is. They haven't capped this yet, so you don't know that they're there. This is good. Okay. So I think you're deciding to put Thrall in the solo now. Were you trying to cap? Yeah. Same thing. If you don't know where they are, if they're not showing here, and they just cap this, if you don't know where the enemy team is, assume they're always in the bush right next to you. So Johanna's gonna die. What do? You just soak. Soak. This is trouble, because they're gonna get this. If I was the enemy team, what would I do? This is gonna be a kill. I don't even worry about this objective. Maybe I like put one person in a bush just to make it seem like there's one person here. Other than that, I just push this, death ball this. This is another thing. So say this is your team, right? What I would do is I'd take this KT, I put this KT in this bush, and I just let him sit there. Because if he sits there in this bush, then you're gonna think, and then these three push in. Now you're gonna think, okay, you're not gonna cap this because you're gonna have to be troubling defending these three. Rexxar should win top no matter what, again. And then you don't know where KT is, so you're always gonna have to assume that he's gonna be mid. And then you're just gonna be putting a person mid to ghost and do nothing. That's what I would do. They probably won't do that. They should be pushing this. Okay. So you see him all. I think you just dive here. Get this point. This is. It's not worth it. Like, yeah, maybe you defended it, but if they played it better, you would be dead. So now you got this, okay. Unfortunate. Okay, I think might be a team fight here. It's coming soon. Maybe. Okay. Here we go. Maybe not. Maybe? Okay. So, looking at this fight, if you're already thinking that you're going to be fighting, these three are way too behind. They need to be stepping up if you're looking to fight this. Okay. So, this right here has to be, so what you want to be looking for is one of two things. Either you look for Johanna ult. So I think you can ult this. So you did you take the move speed on? Yeah. So you ult this Diablo. It hits Hammer and it hits right here. You don't charge in. And then you get to right here while they're still stunned. You press W. They get here. They get clumped. Now Jesus, you're right here from just walking. You tether them as they are pulled in. You press your E this way, and then you dash. And now they're pulled to right here. You don't always have to dash in and then pull and then run back. You can also run up, tether them, dash out. And then you just Q. You drop a silent. You press Q and then drop a silenced. You just throw some boomerangs. And once they get right here, you just beeline it here, press earthquake. So I feel it's kind of hard to picture, but I think it could work. Okay, so the moment you guys are saying like we're coming in, you have to be looking way further. So Diablo's kind of still stalling. Yeah, you can Q that. I think you can, or not Q, but I think you can ult that. That's good enough range. And yeah, before you even do that, I think this Johanna thing gives you enough time to run it. So, but it's pretty much just everyone just needs to be stepped up the moment you guys decide to engage this, which I think it happened when you guys were here because you were rotating together here, skipping this minion wave. So I think it was pretty clear that you were engaging. So you three just have to be more ready and commit to it. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it full on. Don't kind of half-ass it. Because these two little minions they're not going to mean anything. So how does it go? This W's missed. Missed the tether. Kind of spreading living bombs to literally every single person on the team. Target should be Diablo now. Living bombs everywhere. And the silence. Do you have Q? How do I see your abilities? Let's see. There's a way to do it. Show me abilities. Ah, shit. Okay. Let's see the fight again. How about that? Let's see it from your perspective. How do I see just you? God. Okay. So frame by frame. I would still W that. Or ult that. So I'm just going to frame by frame it. This ult's okay, but the only problem with this ult on this Diablo is that he's the only target that you guys have right now. Like maybe if you go up and W this white main, but... Okay, so you'd use the Q, so it's probably 8 seconds from now. I would drop a silence right here, right now. And just... I saw a different fight later on that happens. It's living bombs are a nightmare for you guys, so just be careful of that. Because, let's see, how many people just walk into it? Literally the entire team. So, okay. Moving on. Diablo's a target. You don't have tether. You don't really have anything. You might have a wolf. I wish I could see the abilities, but you should all be like on this side, because otherwise, yeah, he's gonna just dash you. Oh, you had tether, so yeah, everyone goes on this side, you tether him back. He has EQ, so he probably shouldn't be able to get away. So living bomb's hitting, it's hitting the entire team for a spread, and then everyone's living bomb is hitting each other. Like everyone's individual living bomb explosion is hitting everyone. This is why you're losing the fights. Just because of Kilthas. So, goodbye Dookie. So I think that's literally why that fight went off. I think it's just you three have to step up, or Tanner, Nair, and then Falstead, Dookie. You guys have to step up and just, if there's an engage gonna happen, just commit. Go forward faster. So now how do you salvage this? You just back away. They're going to full on engage. You get off this point. You send anyone mid to try and just delay that. It should be the Maiev or the Thrall. Yeah, you can get there in time. If you don't think you're gonna get there in time, cue this. It'll bounce there and bounce there. Just make sure you hit the furthest one. Okay, let's go, everyone. Okay, so now you're kind of stabilizing. What would I do? There's no soak bottom. I would just send everyone mid and then probably send the false dead there too. Fly him up. You're not going to win this. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was a nice wolf, but... Okay. So now, Thrall, you just go top. You might want to... you might be tempted to back, but just soak. Nice. Doo-doo. Yep. Get that soak. Get the full soak. Don't miss anything. You're gonna lose this fort no matter what. There's no way you can defend against 3 people and the full health Dragon Knight, so just get all the soak you can. Especially since the towers are gone. Like, if these towers were here, yeah, maybe you could defend this, but you won't. Drop it. And you don't have to win this lane. You're out of mana. You don't have to win it. Just sit back here and passive soak this. Okay, that's the only value they should be getting out of this, which happened. So this is just hindsight's 2020, but you came down and they got the fort anyway. So next time, just soak. You'll get closer to 13. You could have 2 waves. You would add 2 waves, and same result would have happened. And then after you get the soak, then you just fly down to here when they push in, because they're getting it so much easier. Engage wise, I mean, I wouldn't. Your health is basically because you're trying to kill the Rexar, so just soak. Just go mid. Just hang out here. Let the waves push in. So here, don't soak this wave. No, but you want to sit here though. You're not going to defend this with 2 people. He can just charge. Probably be a bad charge. But you're poking this even though you could soak. It's just kind of, will you win? Do you have a chance of winning this? No. So why bother? Type thing. And it's just a siege. These things are easy to clear. That's an ult though. That's nice. So missed 3 minions. 3 minions here. Missing minions here. Missing minions here. So soak is a area to work on. Just always making sure you have wave clear. And even if that means drafting wave clear heroes. Like not drafting Maev. Like these are like great playmaking heroes. Except for this one, but like they don't do wave clear. So even if you, what if you just draft like, I don't know, Gul'dan, like Jaina, Junkrat, you know, like heroes that can wave clear really well. So that fixes one of your biggest weaknesses, is you just draft easier heroes to play that you can get value out of easier. And it fixes the wave clear, because then you can rotate easier. So if you did like Johanna with a Gul'dan. Then it's just one Condemn plus a Gul'dan Q. Wave clear is easy. Or even just drafting like multiple heroes that can wave clear. Like how many people on their team can wave clear? Just Kil'Thas. So if you drafted like Johanna, you drafted like Jaina, you drafted Junkrat, you'd be wave clearing, and Falstad, you'd be wave clearing all over this map. Even like drafting, yeah, I would honestly say that, like drafting a Junkrat here instead of this, and then drafting like, I don't know, a Blaze instead of this. Then you have this global, you would have Junkrat global, you have wave clear for Blaze, you have wave clear for Falstad, you have wave clear for Junkrat, wave clear for Johanna. This team wouldn't be able to touch you because they would be so overwhelmed by soak. Just a thought. Yeah, wave clear. It's pretty good. And this thing hasn't been touched this whole game. That's another thing. This is very valuable. There's a HGC Open team that played against us that I could probably find the scrim for. And I can show you how they played this map. And they beat us in under 10 minutes. I don't even think it was 10 minutes. I think they got to like level 11 and they beat us. Because they used camps extremely well. So I can go over that game. I can try and find that somewhere. So this is good. I don't think the ult was necessary, but you know, you got the kill either way. So now, what do? You just leave Thrall top. Everyone else rotates. No, you actually, no, I think you leave the Falstad top. Yeah. Send everyone else down. Falstad soaks this wave, and then he looks to fly down. This, definitely not. Now that you got the kill, you want to look to abuse that. And this is not the answer. So, just go down. But it has to be the Falstad here to soak, so then you can fly in. Because you're not using Dookie's fly. I don't think there's been a good fly this game. And it's not because you're not using it, it's just because like the team as a whole isn't utilizing the potential of it. So, let's see. See, I'm of the opinion of if you finish the wave, just leave. You know, these towers aren't worth like any XP, so they're worth like a tiny bit. So do this. It's the only thing you can do. Missing soak. About to miss soak.
Take hold of the shrines. Earn the
Missed one minion.
power.
I don't think you can get that. Tire wave. There's a minion. Okay. So what I would do here is just keep the Falstad mid, but hover right here or here. Clear the wave from here and then dash out if they show here. And then everyone else just push. Because their only response is to cap this and push all the way here, which I don't think they'll do, or they respond. Make sure you get the full condemn. So yeah, good positioning here, just because you don't know where they are. And yeah, it looks like they go do this, which is smart on their end, but I think now, yeah, you send the Falstad here. I think you still push. Because Falstad can just gust him away and delay him. They're not really doing it now. Okay. Now you just go mid and then go down. So you got a fort for a tower. Not bad. Okay. So this is one of those Volstad should be where Thrall is time. I mean, it's vice versa, but I don't think that's actually that bad. Because it could just be Thrall should be in the solo lane, but now he's doing his solo lane job, so it's actually not bad. So this is the target. It's still the target. It's just unfortunate. I'm thinking maybe just your team just needs to go on the back. So you need to leave teams down here. Back out way sooner.
I don't have anything to resume.
Oh.
Let me know what you'd like to play.
Shut up, Alexa. Nice. Okay. So another mid, you got top. Just go. I think everyone backs out. Johanna, you get on bot. And then get the soak. You don't need to fight those. Unless you're dead here. It's Pyro. Yeah, you're all dead here. Okay. How do you fix this? Okay. So for starters, you're out of position, but were you out of position because you're interrupting? Okay, here's where it starts. So I think right away it has to be fly here, gust. I think just call it you're rooted and you're about to get engaged on, fly gust. Heal him, give him a D. This is not that important. If they die here, you lose the objective. So I think right away you just fly gust. Yeah. I think that's the only thing you can do to save this. Because you had to be in that position to stall. And you were going for that. And then everyone else kind of comes in to try and help you. So I think fly gust. Yeah. Just 15 seconds earlier. And that's better. So now what you have to look at is soak, soak, soak. Yeah. You can send two to just hold out top, and then this is kind of danger. If you see all of them here, you're not going to really be able to defend this, so just play safe. Okay, let's see. I think you guys missed this. I think it was miscommunication. So you turn. If you just stick on him, don't even try and pull. Oh, and then where are you going, Dookie? Where are you going? He's right there. No, I see you're probably going for the soak, but it'll stay there. That's unfortunate. Hate to see it. Okay. Go. W this wave. Clear the wave quick and then leave. Okay. If you position someone mid, you might be able to get this objective. But, pick one. You just gotta pick one. I think here, if you decide to go down, you should just stay down. And then I think you get the objective. You're the wave clear tank. This is why you drafted Johanna. Okay. Okay, here's the fight that I watched about it 100 times. I think it's coming up soon. Okay, so you're looking for something. Don't know what yet. Earthquakes in 26. Okay, you call the false dead. You're like, we're gonna fight. This is not yet. When EQ's almost up, then we're gonna fight. Okay, we're fighting. We're going down. Alright, here it comes. Okay. No. EQ's not up, you don't need to fly. Yeah, you don't need, you flew from right here to here. You can just walk that, and then by the time you get down, EQ's up. Okay. I've watched this fight 20 times, probably 50 times. And it's a whole lot of, it's a good idea, but there's so many things that go wrong. I think there's probably about 50 things. Every time I watched it, there was a new thing that went wrong. So, first thing that goes wrong, Johanna's not leading the charge. Johanna has to be first. Just be like right here. Dookie's way behind. So you have to wait for Dookie. You're coming in from over here for a flashy deep play, but I think if you just follow the Johanna, let the Johanna engage, like Johanna can like stun all these people, group them up, and then you can just Q. You just Q. Like you don't need to be the one going in. Like if you sit right here and you just follow everyone down this little train and Johanna pulls everyone, like that's doing what you're trying to do, except now you have your pull and you have your dash on cooldown still, or off cooldown, so you can still use those later in the fight. Dookie's away over here, so you guys are hardcore about to go in and you don't have Dookie. So here's Johanna needs to be in front. Jesus is coming up from the top, which I guess is okay, but not really that good. Dookie's still not here. Okay. So Diablo is going in to do this. If you are positioned right here, you can just ult this exactly how you do. This is a good ult. This is a really good ult. There's miss micro on this because you're dropping the silence right on top of the Diablo and realize it's on the Diablo right when Jesus goes in and stops him, so then you're like, oh shit, whoops. Dookie's still not in this fight. Dookie's going for the hardcore flank. So Earthquake is in 4 seconds, and Earthquake needs to be dropped right when this fight's, like right when it's off cooldown. You need to be mashing the R button. Okay, so Maev's in. Yeah, you're gonna ult this. Dookie's still not in this fight. You're getting chunked. Okay. Everything is looking okay if you waited for Dookie. He was here. Maiev started here. This fight would be looking really good. So here's where everything goes wrong. Okay. Dookie's still not in this fight. You condemn nothing. Maybe this guy. Okay. This gust. Okay. You get the tether. Gust throws him against the wall. This wall gust is actually kind of cool because it's basically like a stun. I kind of like it. But then you pull him out of your queue. Oh, and okay, here's another thing. Okay, so yeah, let's watch it all again. Ult, okay. Here's a living bomb. I don't know if anyone saw that. Here's a living bomb right on this guy. And the funny part is that you pull them into the living bomb. So you're all just chunked. This fight's over before Dookie even like lands a single auto attack or ability. So finally, so at this point in the fight, you guys, this ult came down. All your ults are pretty much gone except for Earthquake, which isn't going to win you this fight at this point. So you just need to back. You need to run. Dookie needs to Dookie on out. So at this point, it's over. The fight's already lost. So you just leave. You just leave. Everyone leaves. You E out. So here's what could have done better. I'm going to replay this 1,000 times because I swear there's things I'm missing every single time. Okay. So silence. Tanner, we're going to look at you now. You should be always just sitting here, out here this entire fight, because you're not going to do anything by running up here. But what you do is you decide to go loop around, get hit by Living Bomb, and just throw this Diablo right here. But this Diablo has a charge and is going to be back in this fight immediately. So this is kind of a waste of an ult. And yeah, there's the arm. He's unstoppable. You probably didn't realize he'd be unstoppable, which is fair. But even if he wasn't unstoppable, this is a waste of an ult. Maybe you were trying to hit him up here. I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah. It's just all unfortunate. And then this goes down. You guys decide to keep going. Earthquake's been up for a couple seconds. Now it's dropped. And okay. Oh boy. I'm seeing new things every time. Okay, so say you do this correctly. Falstead pushes them into here. What should happen next is Johanna should have been up, right? Then Johanna ults them as they're right here, and then you condemn them as they're right here. That's Falstead Gust stun, Johanna ult stun, Johanna other ability stun, Earthquake drops, like Q, Q, Q. This fight's over. These three are dead. If you do it that way, which should be. If they're clumped like this, just throw that ult. And then Dookie for you, if that all goes according to plan, right when you gust this, you just dash in. Because you need to be winning this fight as soon as possible. These fights are not good to be sustained by you guys. So just, you need to end it quick. So, Q. Dash, throw Q. Because yeah, this pull's not getting you anything. Okay. Whew. Okay, now here's the other part. Jesus. Maev is basically a ranged assassin. She's good at autos. She's good at being melee, but you're so chunked out that you can just sit here and queue. Just look at whoever's going on a point and just queue them. It should be two people on their point. You just press Q. But you dash in at super low health when you can just Q this. You had Q. You had it. Just imagine if you were sitting right here and just queuing. Hammer can't reach. Well, she could, but you kind of just sacrifice yourself. Flame strikes. That too. At this point, you have to commit to this hammer. You get nervous because, I don't know, either you're thinking you have to get on the point, which you already were, or... But you kill this hammer, then you win this fight. Yeah, if you just stay on the hammer. Or maybe you don't win the fight because Rexar's here, but you win the win this point, and then you run.
Slain. Hero slain. Hero slain. Red team dominated.
Okay, that was that. So now it's just, I think this is where they win.
The Dragon Knight.
Yeah, there's nothing to do at this point.
New team has destroyed a turret.
Okay, so basically, name of the game was you missed a ton of minions every single lane. Johanna is wave clear. Just use the wave clear W and move to the next lane. You need to use this false dead fly better. You capped this bruisers once this entire game. I think you capped this twice. Other than that, just coordinating ults, figuring out how to engage better. And yeah, I think that's it for this game. Yeah. GG's.